Okay, everybody wave. All right, thank you. All right. Starvation, extreme weather events, and wars over fertile land. These are only some of the few of the potential consequences that humanity faces as our population grows at an exponential rate. With that being said, there have been many processes that are able to help us mitigate those consequences, and one of them may be lying directly underneath our feet. And that's the ability of soil to sequester or capture carbon from the atmosphere. So today, I'm going to talk about the soil carbon sequestration process and its many benefits to the environment. Knowing about this influential process will not only have us become more informed as individuals, but it'll also help us be able to enact processes in which will directly benefit our environment and create an environment in which our children and our grandchildren can live in for many, many years to come. I'm currently a student at the University of Florida, and I'm studying a degree in environmental management. And I've been researching this topic thoroughly. So today I'm going to share with you what I've been researching. And that's the cause of soil carbon sequestration, along with many of its key benefits, including its ability to enhance soil fertility, its ability to increase water holding capacity, and lastly, its ability to mitigate climate change. So we'll begin our discussion by talking about the cause of soil carbon sequestration. So how does this process happen? So it basically happens through a process called photosynthesis. As you can see here, there's plants and they absorb the atmospheric carbon dioxide in their leaves and pump it down into the root zone, into the soil. And in the soil, they create a couple different substances. One is humus, and the other, it provides a food source for soil microbes as well. So in a nutshell, that is the cause of soil carbon sequestration. So we'll move on to our first key benefit, and that's going to be enhanced soil fertility. So having a higher amount of carbon in the soil does a couple different things. According to a 2008 article from Cornell University titled Soil Organic Matter, it helps enhance or create a substance called humus. And humus is a very dark, fine material in which, once it's in the soil, plants can more easily take up these nutrients of humus in the soil. Secondly, it creates a food source for soil microbes. And this is important because the soil microbial community does various important things. And one of them is to increase pore space in the soil. So it does this, and when it does it, it creates little pockets for roots to grow down into, and it creates a system or areas for water to infiltrate onto as well. So those two things in combination lead to a more fertile soil. Secondly, it helps increase soil water holding capacity. So this has two benefits. The first is it helps reduce soil erosion. And this is because if you have a higher amount of carbon in the soil, it kind of makes this soil act like a sponge. So the water gets absorbed down through the profile. Instead of having a small amount of carbon in the soil, it would just go to the top and then kind of run off the side and not get absorbed down. Whenever that happens, it's going to carry sediment with it, and then it's going to create damage, as you can see in this picture, and whole structures can get destroyed. And then lastly, having a high amount of soil moisture also means that it's going to take a longer time to dry out. So that means that plants can survive longer between periods of rainfall. And then a key statistic that really highlights the effectiveness of soil water capacity comes from a 2013 USDA publication called Soil Health Key Points. And in this, it states that in the top 6 inches of soil, 1% of the organic matter could hold approximately 27,000 gallons of water per acre. So that really highlights the ability of carbon to hold that water in the soil. Lastly, the last key benefit we'll talk about today is the mitigation of climate change. So, according to Todd Ottel and Lisa Schultz in a 2012 article from the Iowa State University Natural Resource Ecology and Management Department, they state it can result in approximately 3 gigatons worth of carbon absorption every year. So to put that in perspective, that's approximately 300 million African elephants worth of carbon getting absorbed into the soil every year. So a very impressive amount. And then lastly, according to a 2017 article in the Global Journal of Soil Science called Geoderma, they state that it can offset greenhouse gas emissions by about 20 to 35%. So again, that statistic really highlights how this natural process can aid us in preventing climate change. So that brings us to the end of today's discussion. We talked about a couple different things. The first is the cause of soil carbon sequestration. We then talked about some of the key benefits, including its ability to enhance soil fertility, increase soil water holding capacity, and lastly, mitigate climate change. So moving forward, we're going to be facing monumental challenges, whether they're from extreme storms enhanced by climate change or feeding the world's population. We need to think of any and all processes that help mitigate these consequences. And if we limit deforestation and enhance activities that increase plant growth, we can have a happier and healthier environment for our children and our grandchildren and for many, many years to come. All right, are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, what's something that just as an individual, like us as a group, what are some things that we can do to help with
The process,
the
right?
process, yeah.
So with that, what you're going to want to do is limit any type of plant removal from your yard if possible. If there's a tree there, just leave it be if it's not going to damage any surrounding structures or anything like that. The more plant growth we can get, that means you're going to have more leaves contacting the air, sucking in that carbon dioxide and pushing it down into the ground. So,
perfect.
all right, any more questions? Yes.
In my neighborhood, everybody does, like, they put pesticides in the ground to kill weeds and things like that. Is there anything like maybe organic we should be using something different so we're not?
Right. So there are definitely organic fertilizers out there. I definitely hear the concern with the pesticides as if you apply them to the lawn. When people cut the lawn, the grass clippings can fly off all over the place, get washed into the storm drain. That can contaminate stormwater too. There are organic. If that's a concern, you can definitely buy organic products that can do that for you.
Thank you.
Does anybody know?
Yeah,
Yes.
How come more people aren't more informed of this?
That's a great question. So why are more people not informed of this? So I just think that a lot of people who are in the know about this is just a very small kind of population, especially in urban centers. You get people who are not really knowledgeable in land management, and it's just the lack of education getting out there and the lack of kind of passion for this topic. I just think a lot of people are unfamiliar with it, so that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people don't know. All right, anybody else?